What are the essentials of brooding?
Brooding, the house might be prepared before you receive the chicks. You must make sure that you heat it before the chicks come in.
I'm with your favorite broiler farmer.
After that, make sure you have the proper bedding so that they feel comfortable.
I know he's the only person who is advocating for broilers. I think he has seen the secret behind it.
On those drinkers, you must put small stones.
And he has got a faithful student here. As you've been following, we sold off the other batch, but I faced some challenges and I made some mistakes, especially during the brooder. So for today, we're going to have a comprehensive conversation about brooding period because it's the most essential in poultry farming. So, Mr. Abdallah, what's brooding?
Brooding, after eggs have been hatched into young chicks, we put them in a brooder because otherwise, in a natural setup, they get the brooding from the mother hen.
Yeah.
But now there will be no mother hen because, for example, now we have 2,000 chicks. How many hens would you need? So human beings have come with an alternative. We prepare that house with the facilities which are required for brooding so that you create a situation whereby the chicks get the heat that they would have got from mother hen. A house might be right for brooding. You heat it before the chicks come in.
How many days are we talking about?
Maybe a day before the chicks come. Like for example, the chicks are coming tomorrow. Today at least you start heating the brooder. And so that by the time the chicks come in, they don't get that shock of change of temperature. So they might be coming from outside there when the temperature is normal, but when you come into a house, or according to the weather, it might be the rainy season or what, and then it is cold. So don't give them shock when they get here and they say, you have come to the wrong place. It might affect their growth in the future. So maintain the right temperature, which is about 93 Fahrenheit on the first day. It keeps on changing on a weekly basis. And after that, make sure you have a proper bedding for them so that they feel comfortable.
What's the most suitable bedding?
We have been using coffee husk. It is very okay. It has no problem. Coffee husk. And then on the days the chicks arrive, at least to give them some strength, give them some glucose. You mix it in the water and you give it to them, and that's the beginning. And you start observing.
What are some of the most important issues someone should observe?
The first one, in the first day, they must get when everything have already repaired, like glucose. You repair your water and some stones to help them to not be wet in those drinkers, because if they bring them there in the incubator, they be when they want water. If you now will move them inside the box, for them they first stay in sometimes like 30 minutes when you have not give them water to first rest. Then after you bring the water when there is glucose inside. You mix it with glucose. Then on those drinkers you must put small stones.
Small stones?
Yeah.
Pebbles.
We put them because we stop them from getting inside. So they are tiny. They get inside and then they get wet and they become very cold and it might end up in death. But those stones are also specially prepared. You don't just pick, we disinfect them first. In fact, the stones we are using, the first time we boiled them. Yes, boiling kabisa. Now after that, we disinfected them. So now we just disinfect them. You don't just bring any stone because you don't know, you might pick a stone there when you bring it with the problem. So we disinfect them.
This Does that explain why some people use smaller drinkers?
Smaller in what sense?
Like for the young ones, so that they don't fall in.
No. But it is this is actually for smaller birds. But the problem is at this time they are just like inquisitive. They want to go everywhere, they want to walk everywhere, and then they don't realize that they are walking into water, could bring problem. And maybe one first day, we use brooder papers, or we use old newspapers, so that you put the feed there, because at that time they do not differentiate between the feed and the coffee husks. They might nibble on the coffee husk thinking it is feed, and then it will cause problems.
Okay. All right. Mr. Farad, you were still telling us.
And after, if you serve water, after 10 minutes, then you bring feed. Just you pour it in dirty brooder paper. Then they can eat like for one day, just on that day.
Okay.
Then in another day, you will bring like some feeders.
Okay.
Also when you use dirty brooder paper.
Okay.
But these days they bring another feeders,
Okay.
those young ones. It is tray like that.
Yeah.
Just you put them, they can go and eat.
Okay.
But doctor told me another one. If you use dirty tray, you use also dirty brooder paper to put their feed, because some of them they can eat there in tray.
Others can eat down.
Yeah, because all of them they cannot eat in one tray. Because also that tray can help them. They can take a lot of very many chicks to eat. Then you after you start what? You first you start maintain that temperature.
Okay.
On that exact until you need to wake up.
What is the thermometer?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then you start putting the heat, but you need to be very careful in that heat. Because for them, if there is no heat, they start crying like that. Also, if there is no feed, they start showing you there is no feed. You can hear around like 9 there at night. They start, when you start to hear this, they're looking for feed.
Feed and heat, because you are going to sleep.
Yeah.
You are going to serve them, and then you go to rest. So they make sure that there is enough water, there is enough feed, and enough the right heat, so that you can have also rest. But then as the day breaks, very early in the morning, maybe at around 5, 6, you wake up. So you start checking your source of heat. Like we are using this pot, you add in more charcoal. Here you add more charcoal, so that that cold in the morning, you take care of it. Because if you don't do it, they will crowd together, try to get heat. And then in the process, some can suffocate and die.
You mentioned you have 2,000 birds. How big is the house that is required? How big is the brooder?
Oh, I did not take measurements, but it is big enough. When we are inside there, you see there is enough space.
Sure.
So you have to have enough space for the feeders, for the drinkers, and for the birds to feel free.
Okay. All right. What does it involve? What are the essentials? What things do I need in the brooder?
You have to make sure that you have enough feeders, enough drinkers, so that anytime a chick wants to eat, it has not to be struggle.
Okay.
You see, how would you tell that when you put in feed and you find them crowding on each feeder? That means there is problem. They don't have enough feeders. Same with the drinkers. When you find that they are struggling to drink
water,
that means that you don't have enough drinkers.
Okay.
You have to provide more. Better have extra than have, because in that case there would not be no uniform growth. When some chicks eat, others don't eat.
They have to wait for others to finish and then
eat, and then there will be problem.
Farad, what are some of the mistakes that, like human errors, that people make out of negligence in the brooder?
There's other people. For them, if they see those drinkers, they are not dirty. For them, they just bring water and add again. when you've already dirty drinker, you wash it today, tomorrow you are not going to wash. That's also a problem. Then also you must be careful of if you are serving. You must be careful when you are moving on these places, because for them sometimes they come, when they want feed. For them they just come. If you don't see them, you can put the bucket top of them. They can. Also those drinkers, you need, if you put water there, you must first chase them around the drinkers, because they be, when they are thirsty, they want water.
Another problem, don't put the drinkers too close to the heat source, because the water will be warm, and then they won't take it.
They don't take hot water?
They don't. They will taste it and say, it's not the right thing. So you keep it a distance from the heat source.
Is there any science why you have arranged your feeders and drinkers like that?
We are making it comfortable for them, so that they don't have to move looking for water or for feed. So that's why you see the drinker, feed, drinker, feeder, drinker, feeder, drinker, feeder, drinker, feeder, and that, so that it turns this way, there is feed. It turns this way, there is water. Very close, to make it comfortable for them.
Is there another thing you want to tell us before we leave the brooder?
Just another issue about vaccination.
Okay.
Now vaccination, the first day, if they are not too much, sometimes if you bring doctor, he can going to tell you every chick is going to vaccinate with either 2,000, 200, like that. But if you have your workers, you can bring that medicine, and everyone will put in his eyes or mouth. But sometimes, now these days, some people, for them, they use those drinkers.
Okay.
They first starve them when there is no water. They first come early in the morning, you serve feed. After, you leave like one hour. Then you bring water in drinkers. Okay. But that one you cannot be advised.
You can't rely on it.
Yeah, because all of them, they cannot take that water.
You can't be sure.
Yeah, they cannot be sure all. But if you touch them, everyone, when you vaccinate, that is better. But sometimes, other people, for them, if they are like 2 weeks, they can vaccinate in ice.
Okay.
Then the third week and fourth week, they can put in water, but
it's better you keep vaccinating in the eyes.
Yeah,
okay.
You need to vaccinate when you put in the eyes.
Okay.
The other issue in brooding is you must be very observant, because the chicks, they talk to us or they send us messages. When you find them surrounding around the heat source, they are telling you that it's cold, we need more heat. Now, like for example, you can see now evening is coming, so the weather is changing, it's getting cold. They are surrounding that, what they are telling us now, more heat. And when you find them far away from the heat source, that means they are telling you that it is too hot. Please, can you do something? So these are the issues they have to be very observant. And when you find them everywhere, like you see them now, they say, we are comfortable. We are comfortable.
Right.
And the heat source, you can use stoves like this one, especially made for brooder. You can use these pots. You can use infrared bulbs, which are also for brooder purposes. So basically, that is the beginning.
What's so special about your brooder this time around? There's a lot of changes, I'm seeing.
The first time you came in, we are not so prepared because the supplier had missed so many times delivering our birds. So we would prepare the brooder and then nothing comes. We get the phone, no, sorry, we have not received your chicks. And then that day. So that day when you came in, they took us off guard. Okay. And but now after that first lot, we said no, we must prepare a proper brooder. For example, in that brooder you saw last time, we are using a lot of heat because it was open.
Okay.
And the whole house was open. We are using a lot of heat and also losing a lot of heat.
Okay.
But this has been specifically prepared to be a brooder. You can see it has a roofing, a ceiling, so that the heat is contained from within. And that will help you reduce on the cost of heating, because the temperature is retained from within the brooder.
Do you keep it enclosed like this, like the entire time?
Daytime we open it so that there is free circulation of air, but at night we keep it so that we maintain the right temperature, because the wind should not be blowing inside. But daytime we open it.
What are some of the must-dos in the brooder?
Cleanliness. A brooder should not be a place for visitors, because you don't know what a visitor would bring in. You must have biosecurity. If we have put here 2 jerrycans, we cut them in half, we put in disinfectant, foot bath. So before you go inside, you have to dip in your water. And you must be strict, because somebody might have come from another farm, and he gets here, maybe he has come with something, disease, or he has come with
bacteria.
the bacteria, and then you have the problem.
Okay. So that's number one. You must ensure biosecurity.
Biosecurity.
Okay.
It's not place for visitors. No, it is place specifically for brooding. And if it is necessary to have a visitor, he or she has to follow the protocol here. Otherwise, don't entertain. And then as you are brooding, you had the Farad telling you laziness. Somebody wants to do the work very quick. So the drinkers they used yesterday, in the morning they just want to put in more water without washing it. This is dangerous. You must make sure that you clean the drinkers thoroughly well with the soap, and you disinfect them before you refill them with the water. If you can afford to have more drinkers and you can have excess, the better. When you are removing this to wash them and disinfect them, then the ones which had not been used, you can use them. Like your case is you have very few birds. You can have about 5-10 drinkers, so that to give you time, because maybe in the morning you don't have time to clean all the drinkers, so you could just replace them and wash the water was there the night before at your leisure.
Wow. So biosecurity, cleanness, temperature, and the feeding.
The feeding.
If you follow that protocol, the brooding period will be so easy.
Will be so easy.
And
you have to be very observant. You see how the chicks are behaving. As I told you earlier, the chicks send us message, but you sometimes ignore it. You find them crowding around the source heat. You have your pot or you have your charcoal stove. You find them all surrounding them. They are telling you it is very cold. Please, can you give us more heat? And when you find them far away from the heat source, they are telling you that we are
it's very hot.
But if you find them roaming everywhere within the brooder, they are telling you that we are comfortable.
Interesting. All right, thank you so much. So we have documented for you the entire brooding process. So next time we come back here, Mr. Masum is going to guide us when it comes to feeding. How do you feed the broilers so that they can have that?
Broilers, you remember last time I gave you a chart.
A chart, yeah.
On the first day, at least you count about 10 to 15 grams per bird. So by the number of your birds, multiply it. So you had 100. That means they would be eating 1.5 kilograms per day. So now it's that 1.5 kilogram when you can spread it through the day. So that because don't give them more feed that can be wasted. So that's why we have that guideline from the experts. And then it goes on increasing. So you work on that.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for sticking by. And like I mentioned, if you want Mzee Abdallah's contacts, I know there are so many Nubians there who want to greet him. Someone was even like, that must have been my father's friend. So I want to, so in case you want to get in touch with him, kindly download that PDF and other information. Thank you so much for having us on your farm.
You are most welcome. But don't lose heart. Keep on trying. In the 70s, I one time brought 4,000 chicks from Nairobi. And somebody did a mistake. But we addressed it very fast. Because we are losing about 50, 60 birds per day. But what he did, it was an oversight in cleanliness. Instead of washing the drinkers, they just replaced the water. Because I was not here, my younger brother was managing the farm. So we came in and we did investigation, we raised the situation.
That was crazy. I'm not losing heart. I have a very good teacher. Okay.
There is a plastic mesh which I've brought from Nairobi. I want to use it I want to build cages. Unless I want to keep about 200 broilers. I want to experiment it. If we can manage it, then we shall do away with the litter. I will show you to the office there.
Okay, let's go and look. Like plastic ones.
The plastic one.